Hello again, everyone. Michael here with Felicity, November 8033 Fox, a Cessna flight training device that I built right here at home. Welcome back to the channel. I've recently got Felicity back out of her annual. I've spent the last week and a half going through doing some cable management and cleaning some things and tidying some things and getting her back into more of a pristine shape. So I apologize, we haven't really been able to do much flying during that time. But we're going to get right back into what we've been practicing, these instrument approaches to complement and supplement the real-world training. So I do hope you are all well and safe wherever you may be around the world. It is the 28th of April, 2025. And I think the best way that we should do this is to just take a look at VATSIM radar. Let's see what type of coverage that we have available, preferably something with at least a tower controller and an approach controller. You know, if we can find something with ground online as well, so to get a triple stack there, you know, that would even be more beneficial. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Let me open up VATSIM radar, and I'm going to share this with you here. Okay, taking a look here, all of the areas in the green, those are all centers that are online right now. Looks like we have LA Center, Albuquerque Center, Fort Worth Center, is that Memphis Center's online as well, Atlanta Center, DC Center. So it looks like we have plenty of center coverage. Let's see, what else do we have here available? Louisville, we have Louisville approaches online, and Louisville has a ground and tower controller. Muhammad Ali, I guess would be the name of that one. So that's a possibility we can use. Let's see. What else do we have here? Newark has a delivery ground tower and approach controller online. That's generally pretty busy with some heavier jets though, so we might stay clear of that. Raleigh-Durham approach is online. Let's head to Louisville. That's relatively close to home. Maybe about 2.5 hours flight time in our 172. But I think that'll work out well this evening. So Kilo Sierra Delta Foxtrot is going to be our airport. At least that's the one I'm going to hope we're going to do. Let me just change and load up here and explain Kilo Sierra Delta Foxtrot. Louisville, Muhammad Ali. And we're going to start at the Northeast General Aviation ramp. Confirm. And we'll start a new flight there. Okay, now that we have our airport picked out, and we're just gonna kind of, do this out and back. That's sort of the most efficient way that I found to practice instrument approaches. The departure and the arrival airport is essentially going to be the same. So let's take a look at Louisville. We'll take a look at the weather and see what type of approaches they have available based on the winds. We'll brief an approach, and once we get to the plane and listen to the ATIS, if they have another runway in use, we might have to rebrief a different approach. But we'll take a look at the weather using ForeFlight, and we'll pull up Kilo Sierra Delta Foxtrot. Weather right now, winds are 170 at 9 to 21 knots, it looks like. Visibility's 10. Clouds few at 25,000 feet AGL. Temperature 27, dew point 14. Altimeter is 3005. So with winds out of the south, taking a look at the runway options, they're probably landing 17 left today. That would be my guess. Looks like 17 right, 35 left is closed. And the other option would be 11 and 29er. But that sort of doesn't necessarily work with the winds. So I would say probably 17 left is what we'll brief. It is 8,578 feet long by 150 feet wide. That is plenty wide and long enough for our 172. Let's take a look and see what sort of approaches are available to 17 left. We've got the ILS or localizer 17 left. We have the RNAV Yankee 17 left. We won't do the Zulu. Yankee and Zulu is based on aircraft type and speed. So Yankee would be better for us if we were to do the RNAV. Let's take a look at this one. Let's take a look at the RNAV 17 left. Okay. We'll brief this from the top. This is a WAS approach into the Louisville Mohammed International Airport. It is the RNAV GPS Yankee, runway 17 left. Revised, it's an RNP approach, GPS. See, simultaneous approach authorized. Circling runway 11, not available at night. Okay, some information there about equipment and uncompensated Barrow VNAV systems. On the missed approach, we're going to climb to 1,000 feet, then a climbing left turn to 3,000 direct. India uniform, Vortec, and hold. Continue to climb in the hold to 3,000 feet. The frequencies may or may not apply to us today because we are on the VATSIM network. These frequencies may differ than in the real world, whereas if we were flying on Pilot Edge, that those frequencies are actually replicated real world frequencies. Okay, so how can we get to, let's see, MORKK, okay, that's on the approach. The final approach fix is Sierra Lima Golf Romeo Romeo. That's going to be at or above 2,500. And then we have some of these intermediate fixes along the way. Let's take a look at our map again and see what we can do here. To try and get ourselves a decent route out and back into Louisville. We could possibly use the Louisville VOR as a fix. So, what is that? IIU. And then we could go to Hagel, Hagal. Theoretically, we could do that. And then let's see. What could we do here? Let's take a look at that plate again. Let's just send this over to the map now. We need to find another fix that'll work for us for this approach. Heals, maybe? Heals. Give a little bit of a length to our flight. And then we can get back to is that Lexi? That's the initial. LEXXI. In practicality, they would probably just give us radar vectors, vectors to final. That's most likely going to be what's happening tonight. But I at least want to try and come up with some sort of route. For us. So this could theoretically work. We'll go ahead and pack for this. I hope everyone had a good weekend. I want to thank you for coming in and hanging out a bit today. DreamNet, hey, hello. Welcome on in. Hope you're doing well. Sitting here trying to determine a route for an instrument approach out of Louisville and back. I sort of got a route planned out, but in my mind I feel like they're probably going to give me vectors to final. Well, thanks. I'm glad you like it. While our flight is packing for our trip, check out my new METAR light back here. I ordered this off of a local entrepreneur based out of Columbus, Ohio. This is actually a vintage taxiway light from the Ohio State University Airport where I trained out of. And the light lights up various colors based on whatever the METAR condition is at the airport that you can program into it. And you can program any airport that has a METAR. You know, it connects to your phone. You know, it has an IP address. You know, so I can connect to the IP address, tell it what METAR I want it to pull. You know, it'll turn from green or blue, red, or purple, depending on, you know, VFR marginal or IFR or low. And then it flashes white, you know, because there's lightning present. So it's really, really kind of neat. And the fact that it came from the airport that I trained at, you know, it's really kind of seals the deal for me. Plus, it's got audio.
Station Kilo Mike Foxtrot Delta reported at 290,052 Zulu. Visibility 10 statute miles. Wind 150 at 7 knots.
Yeah, so it's got voice audio too, which is really kind of neat. You just push a button and it tells you what station it's programmed and what the current METAR is. So I really kind of enjoy it. Okay, looks like flight is just about done packing here. Let's see. Downloading 3D view aerial imagery. So yeah, they're available. I mean, they have a decent price tag on them. I'm not gonna lie. but check them out at metarlight.com. It's all one word. And then he does various like table lamps and things of that sort as well. This thing is really taking its time for this 3D aerial imagery. We might have to pack that a little bit later. So theoretically, here's my route, departing out of Louisville, flying to the Louisville VOR, then up to the GPS fix of Hagel, and then up to, I'll tell you what, let's take Heels out of there. We don't need to go all the way up there. We can probably just fly to the initial. Which is okay. Really don't need to get up too high. Let's see. Racer is at or above 4,000 feet. And what's this next one? 6,000 feet at Lexi. Is that right? Mork is at or above 3,000. Slager is 2,500. Okay. Alright, so there's our step down. Lexi, 5,000 feet. Aviator Lamar. I'm pretty sure I recognize that name there. So welcome on in, John. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for the new channel follow there. And then step down to 4,000 and then 3,000 at or above 2,500 at Mork. And final is SLGRR. I think that'll work. That gives us, what, about 52 nautical miles on this approach. That ought to be fine. You know, by the time we factor in taxi and pre-flight and all of that good stuff, you know, this is still probably going to take us every bit of an hour to an hour and 20 minutes to accomplish. Let's double check, make sure that we still have our coverage here at Louisville. And we have ground and approach online. Now, it looks like our tower controller just signed off, but that's just fine. Hopefully, let's see, how long has approach been on? If he's been on a couple hours, we might have to... Okay, we should be fine. Alright, let's try that. Let's hope for the best. Yeah, John, thanks for, like I said, thanks for coming in. I figured this would be the best way to kind of explain VATSIM and show you all about it, you know, what its capabilities are. All of the controllers that we talked to are all volunteer controllers, you know, and really the only difference between VATSIM and the real world is primarily frequencies. You know, the frequencies may differ than what you might see on a published chart there. Okay, so that being said, let me go ahead and let's go ahead and pre-file on the VATSIM network, get our flight plan out of the way. VATSIM ID. Oh, gonna have to start over. That page must have been idle just a bit too long. Okay, here we are. Our call sign for this evening is the same as always, November 8033 Foxtrot. We are IFR. Aircraft type, we're a Cessna 172. Lightweight category, we have GPS on board. We'll file slant golf. Departure SDF. Arrival also SDF. Hopefully we don't confuse a ground controller. I've had that happen before. They were, albeit relatively new, so I confused them with my departure and arrival airport being the same. We should be alright. Altitude, we're going to say 4,000 feet. Airspeed, we're probably going to get 100 knots today. En route time, let's just say 45 minutes. Fuel endurance, we're going to have about 4 hours and 30 minutes of fuel on board our 172F. And what was that route that we had? IIU, Hagel, and Lexi. IIU. IIU, Hagel, Lexi. HAGEL and LEXXI. Let's confirm that. I should be writing this down on the paper, and then I won't have to go back and forth here. Okay, that looks good. Okay, route details, that looks good there. Remarks section, we'll put the Twitch channel name. Let our controllers know how they can see us if they want. Twitch. And then since this is always all volunteer, I just like to put a thank you comment in the remarks of our IFR flight plan. Let's double check everything looks good. Off block time, it is now 9:19 p.m. Eastern, so 21:20. We're 4 hours behind Zulu now. So what is that? 10, 11, 12, 1. Let's just say 0130. Off block time in Zulu. As close as we are, we're not going to file an alternate. Alright, everything looks good there. So we'll go ahead and file this flight plan. And that looks good. Okay, flight plan is filed. Route is selected. We touched base on the weather. Winds were out of the 1709 to about 18 knots or so. So everything looks good there. Let's head on over to the aircraft. Like I said, I did just get her out of annual, so we're going to do a thorough pre-flight walk around real quick. Make sure all of our controls and lights are working. And then if everything goes well, we'll go ahead and call ground for an IFR clearance out and back of Muhammad Ali. I'll see you over at the plane in just a minute. Thanks for coming in. Alright, everyone. Welcome aboard, Felicity. My name is Michael. I will be your pilot today out of Louisville and back to Louisville. So thanks for coming in. Let's go ahead and do a walk around real quick. Make sure everything's working like it should. So let's get some lights on here, some switches, beacon, landing, taxi, nav, strobe, pitot heat. I think my glare shield lights are starting to flicker. I think that's the one color that it doesn't like. Here we go. Let's just do this. And do that. There we go. I like the yellow just a bit better anyway. Hawker125, hello my friend. Welcome on in. Thank you so much for your resubscription to the channel. 30 months. 30 months in a row. 2.5 years. I can't believe it's been that long. I hope you are doing well. It is always a pleasure to have you. Flaps. Flaps down. And then we will take a quick walk around here. We'll start with our baggage door. That looks secure. Our left rudder cable is nice and tight. Elevator's working. Rudder okay. Our beacon and anti-collision light are good. Our right rudder cable is tight. VOR and navigation antennas are in place there. The right flap is tight. Heim joint looks good. We have a green nav light on the right with a working strobe, and the right aileron is working. So I must have hooked something back up correctly. Alright, Hawker, take your time. The right main looks good. No signs of fluid leaks. Front main, strut looks good there. The exhaust is secure. Prop and spinner look good. No signs of cracks or chipping. Cylinder heads sound good. Static source is free and clear. Our pitot tube is warm to the touch, so we can get the pitot heat off. Our stall horn, taxi light, and landing light are both working, so we can get those loads off there. We have a working strobe on the left with a red nav light, so we can get those loads off. The left flap is tight there. Left main looks good. And fuel caps are installed and streamlined. So everything looks good there. There's one thing I forgot to do, and that's connect to the VATSIM network. So let me go do that real quick. But walk around does look good. Let's get the master back off for now. Alright, we are connected to VATSIM. Let's grab some frequencies here. Okay, so there is an ATIS online at SDF. So let me go toggle the explain ATIS back off. Okay. Alright, I think everything is good. While I have the window open, let's go ahead and write down frequencies we're going to need. Really? Is my pencil dead? Probably. Okay. ATIS is 118.725. Ground is 121.7. And approach is 132.075. Those should be all the frequencies we need today. We don't have our tower controller. So the way VATSIM works, John, is from it's top-down type scenario. So if there's an approach controller online but tower is not, you would be talking to approach to get like a takeoff clearance from, you know, a towered airfield. If tower is online but there's not a ground controller, then again you would talk to tower to get your taxi clearance along the ground. So it really just kind of depends on the controllers that are online as to who you would call initially. But since we do have a ground controller online, that's who we're going to talk to first once we get our bird started up here. Okay, we did our walk around. Exterior summary was good. Passenger brief, real quick safety briefing. We'll just go over the acronym. Seat belts, air vents, fire extinguisher behind us. Exits to the right and to the left. Doors open outwards. Feel free to point out any airplanes you happen to see in the sky. I may need to be quiet for a minute if I'm talking to ATC. I'll just hold up one finger like that. Do you have any questions? And that's sort of the much abridged passenger safety briefing. Check time is 1050.8. Circuit breakers are all in. Alternate static airs in. Moves us right along to our startup checklist. Seat track. Let me get scooted up so I can reach the flight controls there. That feels good. Okay. Avionics are off. Carb is off. Mixture for rich. Throttle slight. Let's get 3 on the engine primer. 1, 2, 3. Okay, primer is in and locked. Okay. Master's gonna go on. Beacon is already on from our pre-flight. Let's take a look around here and make sure we're clear. We're clear to the left, clear right, clear front, and clear behind us. Alright, all that looks good there. Brakes are on, and mags are gonna go to start right away. I'm looking for engine RPM and oil pressure. If I don't have either of those, we'll be shutting down because then there's gonna be a problem. Clear. Okay, we do have engine RPM and oil pressure is in the green. Let's go ahead and get our taxi light on. Okay. Startup checklist complete. Pre-taxi checklist. What do we got here? Seat belts. My seat belt is already on. Let's bring our flaps up. Avionics going on. Bus 1. Bus 2. Continue. G5's alive. Continue. Okay. Alright, let's listen to ATIS on 118.725.
TOS. System test OK.
118.725. We'll grab that on COM 2.
Blue Eagle International Airport HS Infirmero 056 Zulu. Wet 170 at 9 or gust 21. Visibility 10. Few clouds at 25,000. Temperature 27. Dew point 14. Altimeter 3005. Visual approach runway 17 left. Runway 17 left closed. Notices to air missions increase bird activity in the vicinity of the airport. Hazardous weather information for Kentucky entity and available FMR service station. UPS ramp control closed. Advise on initial contact. You have information, Mike.
ATIS Mike. And there was a problem. There was a mistake in that ATIS. They said visual 17 left, runway 17 left is closed. It's actually 17 right, and that is closed. But I did call it correctly with the active when we planned, just based on the winds. I figured they'd be landing south. So let's go ahead and let's see. Ground is on 121.7. Get that active. Give it a minute. Make sure it's quiet. And we have ATIS Mike. I should write that down. Let's go ahead and pull that again.
Louisville International Airport ATIS information Mile 56 Zulu. Wet 170 at 9 or gust 21. Visibility 10. Few clouds at 25,000. 27. 2.14. Altimeter 3005. Visual 17 left. Runway 17 left closed. Notices to air missions increase bird activity in the vicinity.
Bugsy, hello, thanks for the channel follow. Yes, we'll be doing a practice, or something. Well, we'll be doing an instrument approach out and back of Louisville. Oh man, did I file a wrong point? Hagel, H-A-G-A-L, Lexi, L-E-X-X-I, and then the Louisville VOR. What did I mess up here? Let's double check our flight plan. IIU, Hagel, H-A-G-E-L, L-E-X-X-I. What did I mess up? That seems right. H-A-G-A-L. Oh, okay. Yep, I totally mistyped that thing. I wonder if this is locked. It may be locked. We'll try and submit this again. Okay. New flight plan. Yep, I totally did a keystroke error. Hagel, H-A-G-A-L. Okay, that was my fault. Bugsy, thank you for calling that out. Greatly appreciate it. You either must be one of our friendly ground controllers or our approach controller this evening. Okay, let's see. We're on ground frequency. We got the new flight plan filed. Yeah, I would have definitely found that out when I tried to put it into the navigator. And no, that really would have kind of messed things up. Okay, 121.7, that's ground. Let's go ahead and idle back a little bit, and then we'll make that call. Louisville ground, Skyhawk 8033 Foxtrot. We're at the Northeast General Aviation Ram, looking to pick up IFR back to Louisville. ATIS Mike.
November 8033 Fox, Louisville ground. Hello, you're cleared to the Louisville airport as filed. You can maintain 3,000 on departure. And departure frequency is going to be on 132.07, and you can squawk 4226.
Clear to the Louisville airport as filed. We're going to fly 3,000. Departure is 132.07. Squawk 4226. Skyhawk 8033 Foxtrot.
Skyhawk 33 Foxtrot, read back is correct. You can contact me for taxi.
We are actually ready for taxi now. Skyhawk 8033 Foxtrot.
Skyhawk 33 Foxtrot, you can taxi runway 17 left via Echo.
17 left via Echo, Skyhawk 33 Foxtrot. Okay, so that's gonna be, that way. Okay. One more thing we gotta do, transponder ADSB is tied into our 650, so that's good in there. We set our altimeter, that confirms with field elevation. Heading indicator to compass, that's gonna be kind of important. Alright, looks good there. Parking brake off. And here we go. Alright, we get that wind.
Skyhawk 33 Foxtrot, check squawk mode Charlie for me, please.
Transponder. Let's try this again. Alright, I'll have to look at that.
And 33 Foxtrot, I got you now, thanks.
Understood, Skyhawk 33 Fox, thank you. So I need to figure out why my transponder isn't cross-tying with my transponder, or why one of these is overriding the other one when it comes to the transponder mode, and I've yet to figure out why that is, but I'm going to have to figure that out at some point in time soon. So we're altimeter there, okay. Okay, that's good. Let's get our traffic.
Skyhawk 33 Foxtrot, you can contact global departure on 132.07. Have a nice flight.
Departure 13207. Thanks for your hospitality, Skyhawk 8033 Foxtrot. So we will go down here and do a quick run up, and then we will get a hold of departure. Alright, let's go ahead and get our strobes on. Okay, pre-takeoff. Okay, doors, windows, transponder, strobes on, landing light on. Hold short here. Knock out a quick run up. Okay, oil temperature's up. Alright, here we go. Brakes are on, fuel's on both, trim is set for takeoff. Flight controls, down right, up left, down left, up on the right, elevator, rudder, free and correct. Alright, 1600, here we go. Left mag, there's a drop, back to both. Right mag, there's a drop, back to both. And carb heat, there's a drop. Okay, carb heat off. Suction's good, oil pressure, oil temperature look good. We've got good fuel flow. Alright, oil temperature. Alright, let's idle back. Okay, Frequency changed is good. Okay, here we go.
November 6 Victor Golf, wind 160 at 7, runway 24, cleared low approach. Clear low approach, runway 24, November 6 Victor Golf.
Louisville departure, Skyhawk 8033 Foxtrot. We're holding short 17 left, number 1 ready, IFR Louisville.
Number 8033 Fox, wind 170 at 9er, gust 21. Turn right heading 250. Runway 17 left, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 17 left, clear for takeoff. Right heading 250, Skyhawk 8033 Foxtrot.
Approaching runway 17 left. Entered runway 17 left. 8,200 feet remaining.
Yahoo! Strobes on. Check. No traffic. Looks clear. Grab that center line. Ease that power in. Slow is fast. Rudder for center. Alright, we're in the green, airspeed's alive, and let's rotate. Positive rate, climb out at 80. Alright, and we were given right heading 255. We're about 500 above. Let's go ahead and make that happen now. Standard rate turn. I can only imagine we were given that heading for traffic, or we might get an on-course here soon.
Number 8033 Foxtrot, radar contact, say altitude passing.
We are 1,400, climbing 3,000. 8033 Fox. Definitely gotta put some wind correction in to maintain that heading.
November 8033 Foxtrot, turn right heading 170, vectors for the approach.
Right heading 170 for vector, Skyhawk 8033 Fox. Guess we'll do a climbing right turn heading 170.
Louisville approach, Piper Warrior, November 416 Golf X-ray, 3,500, 20 miles east for landing with information, Mike.
November 416 Golf X-ray, thanks for Mike. Louisville approach, maintain VFR.
Maintain VFR, November 416 Golf X-ray.
I used to be that guy.
November 416 Golf X-ray, squawk 4535.
Cessna
Squawk
Skyhawk,
4535.
November
November
8033
416 Golf
Foxtrot.
X-ray.
My good buddy DreamNet actually schooled me on that. Be one or the other. Cessna or Skyhawk or November. Not necessarily Cessna Skyhawk November.
Left turn 120, 145 or 3000.
And November 66 Victor Golf, say approach request.
Yeah, we'd like to do the RNAV 24 at Nunya with the procedural turn this time for 66 Victor Golf.
And November 66 Victor Golf, proceed direct Nunya, climb and maintain 3000.
Direct Nunya, climb and maintain 3000, November 660.
I feel like I just did a complete circle.
November 416 Golf X-ray, radar contact 15 miles west of the Louisville Airport.
Roger, November 416 Golf X-ray.
November 8033 Foxtrot, I screwed up. Turn right heading 350.
Okay, right heading 350, Skyhawk 8033 Foxtrot. And approach Skyhawk 33 Foxtrot. We were issued as filed. Has plans changed on your end?
Were you shooting the ILS approach?
Negative. We were gonna shoot the RNAV 17 left approach into Louisville, starting from the Louisville VOR.
Then November 8033 Foxtrot, turn left heading 110.
Okay, we'll turn left, heading left heading 110, Skyhawk 33 Foxtrot. What? Whoa. I've had that happen once or twice, John, and that was in the Boston area, but not often.
And over 66 Victor Golf, cross Nunya at 3000 net. Nunya cleared RNAV runway 24 approach.
Cross Nunya at 3000, Nunya clear RNAV 24 approach.
Man, I could have been at the VOR by now. I really could have.
And Skyhawk 33 Foxtrot, proceed direct Louisville VOR.
Direct Louisville VOR, Skyhawk 33 Foxtrot. One. It is good practice. I'm not gonna lie.
November 416 Golf X-ray at the airport, set your 12 o'clock and 9 miles report site.
We'll report
Airport in sight, November 416, Golf X-ray.
In November 8033 Foxtrot, climate maintained 4,000.
Climb maintain 4000, November 8033 Foxtrot. Alright, let's, we're in the air. We'll put our goggles on now and fly by these instruments. I want to double check this heading indicator compass. Something is screwy. Okay.
Number 416 Golf X-ray, the airport said you're 12 o'clock and 5 miles.
12 o'clock and 5 miles, November 416 Golf X-ray. We'll report in sight.
Alright, let's see, where we at? 3950. One of the biggest things, one of the biggest transitions for me to kind of grasp between my VFR training and learning IFR, whereas VFR for most standards, you know, I was given plus or minus 100 feet, plus or minus 10 degrees. For IFR, you are plus 200 minus 0. So that's a little bit different.
We will approach have the airport in sight, November 416 Golf X-ray.
November 416 Golf
So that's
X-ray,
why-
enter a right downwind for runway 17 left.
That's why when I do my
Right
step down,
downwind for 17 left, 416 Golf X-ray.
that's why when I do my step down altitudes, I'll try and round out, you know, 100, 150 feet above my altitude, so I don't drop below that.
November 416 Golf X-ray, wind 170 at 9er, gust 21, runway 17 left, clear to land.
Clear to land, runway 17 left, roger on the wind, 416 Golf X-ray.
And November 6 Victor Golf, how will this approach terminate?
The vehicle is up to 663 Golf.
And November 66 Victor Golf, wind 160 at 7, runway 24, clear to land.
Clear land, runway 24, November 66 Victor Golf, stand up on landing, can I roll all the way down to Alpha 1?
Affirmative.
Copy, Tango.
The plane I fly does not have autopilot. I have autopilot in here. I try not to use it generally.
Local departure, runway 17 left, taxi the
try my best to hand fly
Bravo.
everything.
Golf, Lima, Delta, cross runway 11.
Sure. 17 left, Bravo Golf, Lima Delta, cross 11, KS128.
Left to heading 358. Standard rate turn. Want to thank everyone again for coming in and hanging out for a bit this evening. So far everything seems to be working. I think I got everything plugged back in correctly. Nothing worse than having a hardware failure when you're in the middle of a flight, but everything seems to be good to go. Hope you all had a good weekend. Left to heading 331 in 5 seconds. Now, standard rate turn. Not going to take us long to get there. Next fix, about 19.8 away. We're indicating 117 knots along the ground, or that's our ground speed. We're indicating 100 knots, but that's that wind out of, you know, that 170 kind of pushing us. Heading indicator to compass.
Approach November 416 Golf X-ray, clear the runway and parking general aviation.
And November 416 Golf X-ray, welcome to Louisville, taxi straight ahead of the ramp. Good night.
Have a great night, thank you.
Procedure, approach, we want the RNAV 17 left Yankee, and we want that from Lexi. Load, approach, and activate. sometimes that parallax effect, you know, when I'm trying to look at the pointer, often it throws my visual a couple degrees off. So I kind of try and look at it straight on.
November 66 Victor Golf, exit on Alpha 1, taxi the ramp, and good night.
Let's switch over to the left tank.
Straight into the ramp. Make sure your time's at 6:60 go.
Gosh, it doesn't take much to get off course. Alright, we're 12.5 away from the initial. Minimums, our decision altitude is okay, we're gonna be flying the LPV, so 699 feet. Although I don't quite know what the /18 means there. Whoop. Heading indicator compass looks good still. Yeah, I'm used to seeing a visibility after the decision altitude, like, you know, 1 mile visibility, something like that. I'm not sure what the /18 means. I'm gonna have to figure that out. Circling approach, you know, for our aircraft would be 1040 with 1 mile statute mile visibility. Alright, we're 7.4 away now from the initial.
UPS 1220, contact tower on 124.2. See you in just a minute. 542, see you in a second. In November 8033 Foxtrot, just want to confirm your route. I have your next waypoint is Hagel, which is 6,500 miles away.
And I think it might have filed wrong. It should be Lexi, Lexxi, and then, let's see, we passed Hagel, Hagal. We're about 5 nautical miles away from the initial approach fix for the RNAV 217 left GPS Yankee into Louisville.
Roger.
I even updated the flight plan. I don't know why that information didn't update. So yeah, there's about a 6,500 mile difference between the E and the A in that fix. Alright, we're 2.4 nautical miles away. Left to heading 170. And now. Standard rate turn.
Destination ATIS is 118.725.
Number 8033 Foxtrot, you're 9 miles from Slugger. Maintain 4,000 till established. Cleared RNAV. Yankee runway 17 left approach.
9 from Slugger, maintain 4,000 till established on the RNAV 17 left approach into Louisville. Skyhawk 8033 Foxtrot.
Departure, hello, gun, GPS Delta Navy 2,300.
GPS 1220 heavy, low departure radar contact.
Overshot that one a bit.
GPS 1220 heavy, receive direct EVA, climb and maintain 13,000, 13,000.
Direct EVA 13,000, GPS Delta Navy.
Class Charlie in 4.3 miles.
Runway 29er, 11 closed. Notices to air missions increase bird activity in the vicinity of the airport. Hazardous weather information for Kentucky and the unavailable at this station. UPS ramp control closed. Advise on initial contact. You have information Alpha.
Vertical track.
Blue Eagle International Airport HS information Alpha 0156 Zulu. Web 150 accept. Visibility 1.
150 now. Alright, our vertical is starting to come in. We're 4 dot deflection right now. Our minimums were again 699 feet, 700 feet. Alright, there's the vertical. Let's start descending. Power's gonna come back. Curb heat's gonna come on. Make sure it's gonna go rich a bit. And let's get like a 500 foot per minute descent in here.
Skyhawk 33 Foxtrot, contact tower 124.2.
Tower 124.2, Skyhawk 33 Foxtrot, thank you for your service, good night. Louisville Tower, Skyhawk 8033 Foxtrot on the RNAV Yankee 17 left approach, about 10 miles out, 8 is Alpha.
November 8033 Foxtrot, Louisville Tower. Winds 150 at 7, runway 17 left, clear to land.
17 left, clear to land, Skyhawk 8033 Foxtrot. As long as we can follow these needles, we'll be alright. You all get to witness the Foxtrot famous S-turns on final. Yeah, that's not a good thing. Thanks, DreamNet. Thanks. Oh boy. Well, you know what they say, practice makes perfect, right? No, practice makes kind of okay. Altitude is 2,100. Our decision altitude is 699 feet. Airspeed 90 knots. 85 knots. A little bit right. Get back over there, Michael. $1,900.
Class Delta in 2.9 miles.
Now we're left. A little bit high, a little bit left.
Two-mile final runway 17 left.
Alright, we're 2 miles out-ish. We could probably put 10 degrees of flaps in. 1,000. There's that bubble up. A little bit left.
$500.
feet.
500.
900 feet. A little bit high. Pull some power out. DA was 699. What was that? Well, we're high now. Alright, there's 700. Let's go visual. Alright, runway's in sight. Ground contact. A little bit of a displaced threshold. Missed approach point. Power's out. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. And these big runways kind of make me think I'm lower than I am. Repeat off.
Cessna 33 Foxtrot, welcome to Louisville. Exit left 1 Able, taxi to the FBO, Echo.
We'll be exiting left on Echo 3 and then taxiing to GA ramp via Echo Skyhawk 033 Fox. Alright. Good deal. Let's go park and we'll shut her down and head back to the hangar and debrief. Let's watch the wing. Okay. Alright, pre-landing, good there, flaps up, landing, did that part after landing, okay. Okay, let's reset that to VFR. Trim, let's get trim back for takeoff. Okay. Alright, strobes. Avionics. ELT is silent. If it wasn't silent, we would know it. Well, I did that at the wrong time. It's supposed to be at the top of the hour. Let's see. Mixture, let's see, avionics gonna go off. Mixture full lean. Okay, parking brake on. Master. Mags off. Okay. Alright, well, I mean, that wasn't terrible. Let's head back to the hangar and take a look at our flight track and talk about it and go from there. I'll see you back there in just a minute. Alright everyone, I would like to say thank you for coming in and hanging out today, this evening, again with some instrument approach practice, this time out and back of Louisville, Muhammad Ali, down in Kentucky. Real quick, I want to say thank you to Aviator Lamar, who came in with a new channel follow earlier, and then Bugsy18 with a new channel follow, and of course, Hawker, always a pleasure with your resubscription to the channel. And another new channel follow, TTV Bible. Thank you so much. And Mech Bossman, you are quite welcome. Were you working tower today? Was that you? Or... Yeah, okay, great. I thought that might have been you today. I'm glad to see you were online, and thanks for having tower open for my arrival back into Louisville. Greatly appreciate it. So yeah, let's just take a look here. I don't know what happened on our departure. I don't know if there was some miscommunication between ground and our departure controller, but we were cleared as filed to the Louisville VOR, but we were given like a right heading on departure, and then we were kind of given a 270-degree turn, and then kind of another 180-degree turn back to the north, and then kind of another 180-degree turn back to the VOR, which is, in my mind, is kind of where we should have been heading initially. But he did admit that he messed up, and that's quite all right. Good practice for him. Good practice for me. And then from there, we grabbed the VOR and flew up to Hagel. That's actually Hotel Alpha Golf Alpha Lima. I filed Hotel Alpha Golf Echo Lima, so that kind of messed things up a little bit. From Hagel, you can kind of see we got a little bit of squirrely there on the heading. Then again, right here. And then from Hagel, we went up to Lexi. And I don't know if my compass was lagging or if I just overcompensated that turn there. But our 170 heading actually turned into like a 150. So we had to correct from that. And then again, here's the typical Foxtrot S-turns on final right here. Making our way along. But we did get to the runway. You know, everything worked out. And once I went visual at our decision altitude, everything seemed to work. I need to figure out, and DreamNid, I don't know if you're still hanging around, but if you are, perhaps you can school me real quick like you do on many things. What is, let's take a look at this plate here for the RNAV 17 left Yankee. Now looking at my decision altitude for the LPV, I'm used to seeing a like a visibility there. You know, like I can see it here. In the circling approach, we've got 1040 feet with 1 statute mile of visibility. I'm not certain what these slashes mean. Like, I'm pretty certain that the first number is in fact our decision altitude, but I'm not sure what the /18 means after that. So that's something I'll have to look into, try and figure that out. Eric 1, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. .18 is the visibility in feet. So 1,800 feet instead of miles. Okay. So that's even less than half a mile. I guess that makes sense as to why they would publish it like that. RVR. And I saw that up here. I thought I did. Alright, now I'm going to look this up. Okay, what does RVR stand for then? I'm gonna, can get very low with the LPV approach, and that I did kind of understand. What is revised vertical runway visual range? Okay. Alright. I'm going to have to make a mental note of that. So is it safe to say... that anytime I see a slash after my decision altitude and then those two numbers, that would actually be the visibility in feet, or the RVR? You'll sometimes see RVR published on the ATIS. Okay, alright, good to know. So if there's a dash, that's going to refer to visibility in statute miles. And if there's a slash, that's going to refer to visibility in feet. Got it. Thank you so much for that clarification on that, everyone. I do greatly appreciate it. And like I said, you all, even working my way through private, you know, the Twitch community has certainly instilled just a plethora and wealth of knowledge in me. So I do greatly appreciate it, and the continued support on Twitch, you know, throughout the year has enabled me to be able to kind of be a gold sponsor for this year's Flight Sim Expo in Providence, Rhode Island. So if you are happening to be there, you know, if you happen to see me, please say hello. I'd love to say hi to each and every one of you that might happen to show up. And again, that's Providence, Rhode Island. That's June 27th through the 29th. So yeah, I'm pleased to be able to, you know, give back to the community that's been generous enough to give to me through the year. So that's, I'm really excited that I was able to do that, and that my application to do so was approved. So yeah, I think that's it for me this evening. Thank you all so much for coming in and hanging out. I learned something new just about each and every time I fly. And I guess the adage, you know, a good pilot is always learning is relatively true, because that's one thing I seem to do, is always learn something. And this evening I learned a lot of somethings. So yeah, I greatly appreciate it. Let's see who we can go and continue our evening enjoyment with this evening. I don't know who is still flying or what. Let's find out here. Following. Let's see. Let's go and raid. Let's go and raid Mustafa, who is doing something in Microsoft Flight Simulator. He is one of the media partners that's going to be at FS Expo. Really nice guy. So let's go raid his channel. If you cannot stay and watch his stream, I know that it's relatively late in certain parts of the area, please just stick around just long enough for the raid, so we can go in and say hello. And yeah, until our next unscheduled flight, possibly tomorrow, definitely this weekend sometime. But I got a lot of prep work I gotta do still for some things. So yeah, until then, you all take care, stay safe, take care of each other. I find that to be very, very important. And we will see you all next time. And have a wonderful evening. And John, if you're still watching, I hope you got a bit of a good taste about what VATSIM is all about, and you know, sort of the capabilities and opportunities with VATSIM. You know, say intentions is great for what it is, but you know, just having that human interaction, you know, mistakes and learning curves, you know, it's really kind of a nice addition to flight simulation in general. So if you have any questions about VATSIM, please don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I'll do my best to answer them. Okay, let's go raid Mustafa. Have a wonderful night, everyone, and we will see you next time. Take care. Be Payne. Man, I didn't even acknowledge you coming in. Man, pleasure to see you again. I hope your travels and flying is going very, very well. So, all right, have a good night. We'll see you next time. Take care.